welcome to the Desk of a DM, episode 2. I am Nick.
And I'm Donovan.
So we're going to go ahead and we got a nice little episode today. So the last episode of this was The Curse of Strahd, and that one was my wife, Jessica. You guys met her for Jessica's Writing Club, her podcast and everything. Me and Donovan today are going to examine a module that for 5th edition has been split up into 3 parts. And from what I understand, Tyranny of Dragons is an old school module that wasn't split into 3 parts. It was an entire book of its own. So, if that's its own adventure, the 3 modules that was split up into is Tyranny of Dragons, Horde of the Dragon Queen, and Rise of Tiamat, which Rise of Tiamat doesn't sound promising to go against.
No. I mean, if the minis are any indication for size, have you seen the mini for Tiamat? It's anything but.
I've seen the mini of Tiamat. I do believe I might as well own one, considering what I got on the shelf. Those things are huge.
Huge, but that doesn't do it justice.
No. But looking at a Tiamat mini, that's not a mini. That's a goddamn...
it's not even an action figure. It's a full-blown toy.
It's kind of ridiculous. So
you buy that for your kid, you're guaranteeing they're going to have nightmares.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same thing that we did for Curse of Strahd, which is we are going to insert, we're going to give ourselves the ideal party. Like, what would the 6 characters you think would be included in the campaign? Then we're going to end up going into what characters... Oh, I'm sorry. How would you run the campaign? Like, what things would you throw into the game to make it fun for the people to kind of like run into, and things that you might want to include. So we'll start with the party, because every great adventure needs a party to run into it. I'm gonna probably say. I would definitely want at least one ranger.
Yeah, ranger would definitely be your go-to for this. Like, rangers get shit on a lot.
They do, but they're great trackers. Like, their survival experience and a lot what they do are pretty good. I mean, heck, maybe throwing some levels of rogue.
Yeah, you wouldn't really need that. But maybe a level or 2 of monk, ascended dragon possibly, or the long death. That would give your ranger the ability to, get rid of the armor and, well, just really piss people off by being hard to kill.
Pretty much. Definitely a fighter. You need the muscle.
I would skip the fighter in favor of a paladin, or maybe a paladin fighter multi-class.
Well, I was going to include paladin on its own, because you have the fighter, and then you have a paladin. Neither of them sound, bad to have in your party.
Yeah, but fighters can't smite evil.
True.
And if you do the whole paladin fighter multi-class, okay, granted, you're not going to be able to get all of the extra attacks, but you'll get enough extra attacks that, throwing a few smites in there for some spice, you're going to bring the pain.
I'm probably going to also throw in... Okay, I'm going to throw in a wizard, not a sorcerer, and a warlock. I like warlocks. Their magic is fun. Wizards do pretty much everything a sorcerer does, but they got schools, not origins, and I like the schools.
If you're going to go with school, though, I'd say Graviturgist, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be fighting dragons. Dragons fly. What doesn't fly? Gravity. Gravity says, fuck you, you're on the ground. And
makes them just a little harder to hit.
Yeah, actually makes them just a little bit easier to hit. You play your cards right, you can pin them down and, sick your pally on them, or even your barbarian.
Well, I was going to say, the flying makes them a little harder to hit, but yeah, when you bring them down to the ground to your level, well, they're a little bit easier. The one class I would probably throw in as a fun class is probably the Artificer.
Why, go all Tony Stark on them?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. I kind of want to, because depending on if they run the Artificer kind of like a go-go gadget thing, they would have a lot of access to a lot of fun toys.
With the right infusions, they could definitely bring a lot more to the table.
Yeah, and a support class. I mean, let's see. We have Paladin. Paladins heal. Artificers run all around support, and with their different infusions, they could be damage dealers, but they can also support the whole party without kind of tossing it around too much.
Go cleric. Some extra smites, ability to turn undead, and heals. Heals for days. Pick the right race combo with that, and you got yourself a powerhouse healer. And someone who can keep everyone in the fight, and if they gotta, thump a motherfucker, they can thump a motherfucker.
So you got the Paladin fighter hybrid, you got the Ranger, you got the Ranger monk, who's more Ranger than monk by 18 levels. You got an artificer and you got a cleric. That sounds like a pretty bomb party. I could do that.
Maybe one less ranger in the party though.
There's only one ranger.
Eh.
Definitely make the only race I think I would request just for the side of flavor is either Dragonborn Paladin.
Oh yeah, that's some super salty material right there.
Oh yeah. So the Dragonborn Paladin to cause some friction in the party, maybe some other salty shit going on, or
salty goodness.
Or I would even include for giggles. Let's see, what is it? Charisma? No, wisdom is used for. What's used for cleric healing spells? Is it wisdom. Or wisdom? I'm probably going to. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to say, I'd still probably go with Dragonborn Cleric because, it's like, will you stop hurting the adventuring parties?
Yeah, be careful though. You might make Tiamat thirsty.
Oh boy. And then Bahamut just confused. Anyway, so alright, so we got the party. Now let's talk about running the adventure. Let me start. So if I was gonna start this off, I think the way I would run it is the Master of Flowers himself, Bahamut, going to look for the adventurers. Maybe handing out the Church of Bahamut posters, to where the adventurers who want maybe a little blessing before they go on their adventure and their next mission. Started off a little different, and, well, what better to rise to an occasion than maybe a bunch of eggs hatch.
Maybe.
And level 1 dragonlings just invade the town looking for food.
Well, you can always go the divine intervention route too. You have a paladin and a cleric, and if they're both of, or if at least one of them is of, the faith of Bahamut. Bahamut can send them visions. You must find these people. And that's how the party comes together, because they've literally been roped into it because of fill in the blank paladin cleric.
Isn't Coralin friends with Bahamut to a degree? I mean, I can't say friends, but I thought they were in good standing with each other.
I believe they are in good standing, but elves are, well, they're snooty. The only thing snootier than an elf is a dragon, okay? If you want to rate levels of self-importance, you have elves, and then dragons have their own fucking tier. Right above that.
Okay.
Elves sneer at all of us lesser beings because we're so short-lived, and dragons just look down on them like, that's cute, you have disdain.
Oh man. Okay, so I like the divine intervention idea.
You could also do it as a guild thing, kingdom recruitment. You could have some of the town criers going around, handing out flyers to people who are of age. Looking for adventure, sir? Go to the king's court. We're doing recruiting for the nearest adventure. You You miss. You look hale and healthy. You know, and so on and so on. Just like, go to the town square and meet this, representative of the king.
And then you need one person, if it's the town crier situation, you need one person like, no thanks, I'm not interested. And then the guy just continuing to beat in your face until you take the fucking paper. And it's like, you are not exempted.
Of course, if the players are cool with it, if one of them happens to have the criminal background, the paladin or the cleric could be their parole officer. And that's the only reason why they're on the adventuring party.
Give me a good reason why I need to do this. It's like, you see the dragon? Yeah, we could feed you to it. You want to help us kill the dragon? Yes. Okay, good. Then we won't tie you up and feed it to you.
It's like, I'm safe in this cell. The dragon isn't coming in there.
Rips off the tower.
Where do I sign? You know what? Forget the signature. I'm doing this free of charge.
That's fucked up. Okay. Then I would have, let's see, if it's going to be the right, okay, so in the first part of this adventure, if we're going to let's end this part of the adventure before the Horde of the Dragon Queen. Let's end this adventure around 10th level. No, we'll do 9th level.
Mm-hmm.
Around 9th level, they can go against, they'll have to go into a gauntlet of fighting one of each colored, evil dragon.
Oh, dude, no. Level 9? Are you trying to do a TPK?
I'm not talking about an adult dragon, no.
Even the younger dragons are not something you just be like, oh, I'm just going to drop a wormling here. It's no big deal. Okay, sure. One wormling, yes. A black dragon wormling. And then you get to the green dragon wormling. And then the blue one. And then the white one. And then you get to the asshole of all dragons, the red one, who's basically just waiting. Oh, fuck those other guys. They just tenderized my meal for me. And treasure to boot. All right. I'll just got to sit here and wait. No, come on, man. Why are you going to do that to them? That's mean.
Because fuck them, that's why.
And this is why no one likes your games. No.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't, if I was going to give them quests and stuff to go along, make the fight any easier, give them something like, a ring of, what are they called? Ring of protections, cloaks, resistances, things like that and then give them something a little extra with it. Because, going against a dragon of any level, even a baby dragon, there was a story of a shadow assassin in 4th edition who decided to get cocky and try to backstab the bronze baby dragon and got 8.
You also got to remember that in spite of the age category, even if they're all the same age category, they're all going to be different sizes. If memory serves, the red dragon is the biggest of the chromatic. So a red dragon wormling is pound for pound going to pick its teeth with the black dragon wormling because, well, again, if memory serves, of the chromatics, it's the smallest. So, even if you put them on that scale, it might not work very well.
It's very true.
What does the module say? I don't do modules. I've never ever.
Well, that's why I really never peek into it. I just like the idea, I like coming up with you know what? The name of the module gives me an idea of how to run a campaign without reading through the full module, because I don't want to follow the module and then railroad my players. That's my issue.
Yeah, modules can, and I mean can, I stress that word, be a bit railroady, because there's a very clearly delineated beginning, middle, and end to it. It doesn't really give you a lot of wiggle room to go on side quests or adventures. And if your adventuring party has the attention of a methed up gnat, that's going to happen a lot. And if you're a dungeon master and your party is like that, then, do yourself a favor. Don't. Okay. Just no modules, because you will never complete one. You will constantly be frustrated, and your player's going to wonder why you're bald because you're yanking your hair out in frustration.
So, let's go with this. If you had to end it at level 9, this part of the campaign, they do say in the end it's Tiamat's temple. So, Instead, since Tiamat's a god, why not a herald? Why not the fight with a herald?
Yeah, you could do that, or if you want to stick with the dragon wormling idea, make it a dragon wormling that's a child of Tiamat. That'll give it just enough of a challenge rating that it might, or maybe add a hatchling instead of wormling.
There are dragon masks. Well, I didn't actually realize there was like some really neat magic items that come in here, but one of them is a dragon. One of them are dragon masks, and they each have like little effects to them. That's actually pretty cool. Neat. I don't know. Let's see what is like in here. What the fuck are you? You're a huge giant. You're a cloud giant. That's a medium humanoid. Dragon Fang, Dragon Claw, Dragon Soul. Oh, they're humanoids.
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
Speaking of dragon stuff, since they're doing the one D&D thing, maybe they should bring a crafting system into it.
They should. Okay, so they don't really give you nothing I'm seeing anyway. They give you they give you Tiamat like right out of the bat for the end of the adventure. What the fuck? Okay. So I don't know what level they plan on getting to this, but they give you the stats for Tiamat, so by the end of it, apparently it's an armor class of 25. I don't know, can you hit an armor class of 25 at 9th level?
With my dick. No, but in all seriousness, it's not impossible. A well-spec character would be able to do that with a reasonable modicum of difficulty.
I'm going to chalk it up to I'm going to say I don't want them to face Tiamat until the last one. So I would say if I was going to do the temple, I would take each of those creatures that were like the dragon soul, the dragon heart, or whatever, like those four creatures were.
Those are supposed to be the cultists who are running the temple.
It would be the four cultists and the herald. But, you interrupt, I would have the players try to interrupt the ritual the first time. And what comes out is the herald instead of Tiamat, but the herald's like at a quarter power.
Well,
and then you have the four cultists plus, the herald.
All right. But your next major encounter would have to be an avatar, and then the goddess herself.
So for the next one, then I would run from 10 to 15. No, see, I was trying to figure out the scaling somewhere. So maybe level 8 instead of 9, something like that. So from like 1 to 8, and then from 9 to 16, and then finish it up with the rise of Tiamat. So I would go. So from 9 to 16 then, from 9 to 16, the Horde of the Dragon Queen probably try to raid her temples, try to not only score what Tiamat was, treasuring or all her treasures and stuff. try to literally shut down the cult of Tiamat.
That wouldn't be all of her treasure. All of her treasure would be in Avernus, where she rules.
So then you would have to take the fight to her domain.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
The rise of Tiamat should be, if memory serves, her actually coming into the world, or trying to. That's your goal. Stop Tiamat from coming into the material plane.
So we were going to shoot for a place called Skyreach Castles, where they want you to end that part of the adventure, the Horde of the Dragon Queen. So, let's say that is, maybe a physical temple on the same plane for her.
Maybe.
They're like her main castle in the sky. One thing you'd probably have to get to with an airship, I imagine.
Or climb, because, athletics checks are a thing.
If you can get there.
Okay, barring it being some large hunk of land that's floating in air with nothing connected to it, and even then,
There's ways.
teleport.
Magic circles, teleportation runes, shit like that.
Or if you really want to be an asshole, oh look, it's a floating island. Anti-magic zone.
You know what? I would run most of the campaign from there, but I'd make it like this ginormous friggin' dungeon. Like, I would make it as big as Tiamat herself twice. That'd be a huge-ass dungeon. That'd definitely be something that you have to look at and be like, dear God, how long does it take to get across one floor? That's a good question. That'd be the type of difficulty. That would be if the first part was mostly role play and some skill challenges, well, the second one would be like a damn gauntlet. The second part of the adventure would be a gauntlet of nearly just countless fights of different dragon things, dragon humanoids, dragonborn. Oh, no, wait. Oh, that would be fun. Okay. In the whole Skywatch Palace. It's like, where do you see the dragonborns anymore? Like, don't seem to be any after we took out the Herald and everything. All the dragonborns got brainwashed and brought up to the Skywatch. So while you're fighting up there are different armed dragonborns.
Difficult, but not impossible. All things considered, dragonborn aren't really big on gods. Like, from a lore perspective.
Right.
Considering the situation that they came from in their, well, I don't want to piss people off with the proper word, but let's just say internships.
Okay.
Forced internships. Unpaid forced internships.
Pretty much. But that's the way I would run it, and it would be like this. I mean, it would be a slog. I'm not gonna lie. It would be a slog of a set of fights, but it is gonna be heavily. Like, if the first part of the campaign you didn't get any magical items, if you barely got treasure out of it, the second part would literally grant you nearly fucking anything you could think of.
That might be too much.
No, but
you would want to reward your players, but especially in this, because some people, their solution to the problem is to bonk it.
Yeah.
Or to boop its snoot. Okay? Boop its snoot. If it doesn't go away, you didn't boop its snoot hard enough. Okay, there's nothing wrong with brute forcing it, but if someone in your party convinces the rest of the murder hobos, presuming that you are running with murder hobos, because let's face it, this is a thing.
I mean,
to not go all murder hobo-y and to actually do some stealth, the DM should reward them for going against type or for coming up with a creative solution. Don't see enough of that, to be honest.
I would definitely put quite a few magical items and things in. Very much probably roll luck or rolled base to figure out what they're going to pull into. But, I mean, if I'm going to consider, like, that huge dungeon, I mean, like, it's Tiamat's castle, and if you're going into the Queen Dragon's Hoard, yeah, you'll pick up quite a few gold and things, but when you get to the main source, if you could find her actual hoard, a couple of astral diamonds, other things like that flying in there, you could probably score quite a bit of magical items and such.
Or you could just be a dick and give them the deck of many things. Damn
it. I think it's still in 5th edition. It's the Cursed Game.
Meh.
So in 4th edition, I think Theo had it, and it runs in Theo's character too. I think it was a chess game, and if you could beat the chess game, the cursed chess game, you only get one try a day. But if you beat the cursed chess game, it gave you bonuses. And they're like silly bonuses, but they're bonuses. Like, they're like, oh, here's a 2 to this stat, here's whatever. But if you failed, then your checks took a hit or something like that. I just remember the cursed game was the thing, because I remember Jesse rewarding it to Theo by like outbetting or outsmarting a shopkeeper or something. But I remember he had it.
Never heard of it, but there's a lot of magic items I've never heard of.
But I thought that was fun. I was like, this is interesting. And then if you play, and then I remember something about it, like if you play the game with it, which is you get one move every day, so you have to pull it out, make a new move, put it away. But if you forget to do it one day, it resets.
That's kind of dirty. But I know a lot of people would probably try and spam it, so yeah.
So yeah, there's a quite a bit of shenanigans with magic items that you could pull, and it would be a hell of a lot of fun. But now if we're gonna talk about the rise of Tiamat, now if we're gonna talk about the last leg of this campaign, you're talking like literally toward the end. Going back to Tiamat's temple.
Yeah, you kind of want to pull out all the stops for that.
You really want, if you get that far, you want that to be a memorable capstone, a feather in your players' caps. You want that to be so epic that they'll be telling their friends 20 years from now stories about this epic campaign. Although that is easier said than done. Let's face it, as DMs we know that a lot of responsibility falls on our shoulder to create something for our players. And sometimes we fall short. I know I have. Nick, you know you have too. We all have. But at the same note, players, speaking as a player myself as well, sometimes we're just spiteful dicks. And we break things that we later regret breaking when we could have just enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yep.
But in this context, if it doesn't at least have one story, or better yet, let me rephrase that. When you finish this trilogy, if you have at least one story about that whole campaign that sticks out, then you have done your job as a DM.
I agree.
And if your players have at least the one story, then you know that you have definitely done your job as a DM.
I think the one thing I would do is make it like a regret decision that they stopped the cultists in the first place. I'll tell you why. If I was to run this campaign and make it as such, I'd make it so when they find out, like, whatever, see, we never ran across, like, why is Tiamat being risen in the first place? Well, when they do a little digging into it, they find a cataclysmic event that's been happening, but the only way to stop it is to kill Tiamat. So they might find, like, one of the cultists that they didn't kill, or maybe got away, and when they find out, well, their whole purpose was to resurrect Tiamat, lock it away, and then kill it. How they were going to do that, no one knows, because, well, the people that did know were already killed. And so the one cultist that you kept alive doesn't know shit.
That's the thing.
So
or here's one that really flips the script. What if Tiamat's not the villain in your story? What if Tiamat's actually sort of the hero? I'm speaking as it from one DM to another.
Right.
Traditionally, Tiamat is the embodiment of draconic evil.
Right.
So, what if you decide to put a spin on the story? That Tiamat is doing what she's doing because the forces of good and order are trying to weasel out chaos and evil completely. Break the cycle, unbalance the system.
Ooh.
So, the only way to save the world is by not killing Tiamat and allowing her to go on her ungodly rampage to, balance the equation back out.
So you can literally put both versions in the story where some people might say that it's Tiamat's doing, but the other people could say, like, well, it's actually, like, the Order of Bahamut that's actually doing it. And the Paladin of all people would be like, oh shit, Fuck!
That's if the paladin isn't being played lawful stupid.
Right. Still.
However, in the Wheel of Time series, the books, not
I got you. Go ahead.
not the whatever the hell that was on Amazon.
Damn.
There was this thing about prophecy. However, there was a flip side to that. Dark prophecy. Prophecies made by, the minions and agents of evil that are just as likely to come true as the standard run-of-the-mill, what we grow up with as normal prophecies. One of you pepper a little bit of both of those into your game, and you just sort of obfuscate the truth of who the actual villain is. Let's say you want to play up Tiamat being the hero. So you can incorporate dark prophecy into your campaign to hint that the rise of Tiamat is necessary to balance the scales of the universe. Of course, your normal, law-abiding citizens are not going to believe this. That's just heresy and propaganda.
Right.
But what if it isn't? What if it's actually true? Sometimes incorporating something like that could be just enough of a role-playing incentive for your players to get them to really not just get into character, but have their characters question their actual motives. What if the paladin isn't being played as lawful stupid? And the paladin wants what's best for everyone. But what if what's best for everyone is fire and death?
Right.
Will the paladin break their vow and allow this great evil to come to be? Because without this great evil, the world slowly chokes to death under the yoke of order and law. I mean, it's kind of compelling, not gonna lie. And it gives you something to play with. I mean, ultimately, D&D is a game where you have to overcome to achieve a goal. But half the fun is just the participation.
Yeah.
To live in that moment. And if you're playing and you get to that moment where you truly are indecisive and you're not sure if you, the player, are indecisive or if the character you're playing is indecisive, at that point you've blurred the line of the narrative and it can go anywhere. Now, don't lose your damn minds doing this, please, but it could make for a really good game. For an interesting character.
You really should go with the whole intrigue. It's like if you make the story too clean, too straight, it's already kind of predictable. But I mean, by making some turns in it, you get some fun incentive to run it. So
at the end of the day, as players, you are little minions and agents of chaos. Don't lie to yourselves. We all know you are, even if you don't act on it. And DMs, a little pro tip. Flexibility wins the day every time.
Remember, if one of your players wants to make a snoo black dragonborn mixed with a green dragon, no, was it black and what's the acid for metallic?
For metallic?
Yeah.
Copper.
So if they want to make a copper black dragonborn baby because them two got it on and they want like two different benefits for whatever reason, give it to them. Let them do it. If they would like to be the Herald of Dragons and they want like all three gifts of the Dragonborn for shits, giggles, and whatever else, sure, go ahead and reason with them to a degree.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? Just to play it up. If they let's see what they do with their character.
I am the Herald of Andraste. Dude, wrong game. Shit. Sorry.
Damn it.
I'll be going now. Which way's the exit? Why are you asking us?
Oh, look, brownies.
I brought cookies.
But yeah, I like that idea. The campaign itself sounds like to me, God, that has to be at least 2 years running.
I don't know about that, but it definitely isn't going to be short. Like, I myself don't run modules. I don't like how restrictive they are. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is a narrative thread, a canonical narrative thread from the creators. And you get to shape this universe how you see fit. Me, I prefer my own sandbox.
Yeah, same.
My sandcastles are nicer.
I can come up with cool ideas. I mean, you're witness to a campaign I'm running called The Apocalypse, which I think is pretty cool. You guys have pretty much met each of the horsemen. Not for a lack of trying.
I'm waiting for the bard to try and bang one of the horsemen.
We'll see what happens. That's going to be...
Well, wait. Isn't the ranger already trying to bang one of the horsemen?
I don't even know anymore.
I mean, like, that's totally against type, but then again, I mean, my sorcerer, Lambert...
Your sorcerer Lambert would do it for a brush at death's door. Or at death's drawers.
Oh, yeah, he would definitely keep something of hers.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, are those? Don't you worry about those. Tucks them away in a pocket. Just you mind your business, son.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I definitely would not mind the back and forth between that, because that gives... I like looking at a module for a base idea, because sometimes it's like, yeah, I can come up with really neat ideas. I just don't always know how to really execute them. But just by looking at the titles of those three, knowing now that they're combined, I'm like, I actually have a full story I can work with, and I can alter it as I see fit. So, running a module, I would do running a module. Running a module I would do for, like, very, very, very standard, like, base players. Like, the people that want just a clean-cut adventure, they just want something to run with, they don't want any super surprises.
People who aren't, by definition, murder hobos or prone to breaking games.
Or even someone that's just getting into D&D. If they would like, hey, can we run a module? Because I hear those are fun. And it's like, okay, you want to run a module? We'll run one for you. And you pick a module, and you kind of run with it and see what they think. And if they think like, well, that was kind of boring, you could be like, well, tell you what, let's do a game where I make my own story, and we'll make your character the main focus, and we'll kind of base it around that. And you kind of work with them, and you do that anyway. But people like there's certain people that we've played with that I feel like they didn't get the experience they wanted because the game went too way far out for them, and then there's some people that may have preferred a clean-cut story out of a module.
Ryan's brother.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure what happened there.
That's, like we talked about, it's the only thing that we could assess, but, well, I hope that you guys kind of liked our little dig in and see what we thought of how we would run this campaign. And as you can see, me and Donovan actually have a fairly similar idea, maybe like, throwing some different ideas around there, but that campaign would sound pretty awesome, actually. I think I would be happy enough to actually participate. I would definitely probably want to play the Paladin.
I'd probably play the Ranger.
I can see you play a Ranger.
I like Rangers.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I rarely see you play them.
It's because I've been trying other classes.
Fair enough.
I mean, like, up until I really started playing with you guys, that was pretty much my go-to class was Ranger.
I can see that, because it was either that or Rogue.
No, I never really played Rogues. I've only ever built a couple.
Well, I only say that because, well, with your personality, you'd be a good Rogue.
Or Bard, or Sorcerer, or Warlock. No one ever really associates me with the class I enjoy. But I do like multi-classing, so...
There's that.
I mean, with everything that's out there, there's so many different combinations that you can do with, background, race, subclasses, the whole 9 yards. Like, breaking a game is easy, but just enjoying it for what it is, that's the real treat right there.
Oh, yeah. But we will see you guys when we decide to dig back into the desk of the DM. We will see you later.
Deuces.